what got you into like this like path, I guess, of like
I've been it's been since I was a kid. I was doing things, and I was always the weird dude running around the hallway as a child. Like inside school, I'd probably say the biggest thing that happened started about when I was 10. I almost woke up back when I was 21, but then I sealed myself so I can go back through. Like I was waiting for someone,
hmm,
essentially.
what do you mean by like waiting for someone?
I have a partner.
Okay.
Had a partner. So my memories, our childhood dreams are more like our memories, and I had memories of a woman with a certain face and certain qualities, and I was waiting for her. I had woke up, was doing all my things, was waiting for her, and went to Japan seeking her, but I couldn't feel her energy anymore. And I was like, nah, I know I have a partner. Something happened. And I was getting to where I was maxing out. So I had to seal myself and dump my power back then and go back to being normal. And so I purposely turned myself off and went back to being a normal person for a while.
Man, that's
Normal ish, while I was doing research and other stuff. I was trying not to use my powers. That was the whole thing. My old powers, like it's like a Bleach and Ichigo. You get powers at one level, and then all of a sudden you seal yourself, and then like you had to reawaken yourself. You have to do something completely different, and you get new powers, something different than you had before. It's just like that.
man, I'm going through that right now, and I've had a similar experience. When I remember the exact day when I like cut myself off when I was like 6 or 7 from like I don't know being tapped in.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, that's interesting. Like what? Second regular question, then we can get into Cradle, I guess. Uh,
sure.
what like uh, what like form of media? I always ask people this. Like, what show or TV show, movie, anime, uh, manga, comic book, literature, whatever, has like had the most
Mm-hmm.
nuggets of truth for you? Like that someone getting into this should read that first or watch that first. You know what I mean? For
Mm.
me, it's Hunter x Hunter.
They all have every show has its own nuggets and kernels.
I
It's all
agree.
like everyone's talking about it and they're talking around it. Like me, when I started waking up, those DBZ that
Yeah,
I started with, and I was using my chi that way.
yeah.
That was the system I started with.
When I was little, man, I used to like hide from my parents because I would be going to like I had like football practice when I was like I don't know 8. I'd be like hiding underneath the bed trying to watch DBZ because I was just obsessed with it. But overall, like the one that has it like most refined, I feel like is Hunter x Hunter. And I don't know.
Hunter x Hunter is a good one. It has a good explanation inside of it for it, like the way they laid everything out. And even like the ice
Yeah,
wall is the new world. The whole thing about that is
Dark
so
Continent.
like you got to actually have your star turned on before you go there so you can resurrect and come back. Anyone, it's like games, you get to a place where you can't go beyond the boundary,
Yeah,
right? And you can go to the ice wall and keep on running. You can track for miles upon miles upon miles there. And then like turn around and you really didn't go that far. You've been gone for days. You turn around and go back and you haven't really been that far.
yeah.
It's a play on space. It's a monarch lock.
Monarch Log. Oh
It's,
yeah, like Cradle. Gotcha.
yep, you have to be a monarch in order to get out.
To ascend.
You have to have your star turned on in
Yeah,
order to go to like the not even ascending. That's still on the same planet. It's just like Grand Theft Auto. You have the map and you can't get past the map. You just keep on sitting there and it just like puts you back. That's
yeah.
what's happening essentially. If I was to go running with someone side by side and we're running down the ice wall, right? I would just suddenly start fading off into the horizon, and they would be like, "Why is he running so fast? We were running at the same pace. I don't have to change pace or anything. It's just because I'm able to go there and you're not able to go there. So eventually, I'll disappear in the distance, and you'll be like, he outran me.
That seems to be that topic, that specific topic of like you have to be a monarch, be like you have to believe it yourself subconsciously. I feel like that's in the ethos
No,
right
no,
now.
no. Monarch isn't subconsciously.
Yeah, yeah, you're obviously a monarch, but it's like I don't know. my last video, I made one last night. It was about dreams, and this guy, he's a martial artist type dude, and he was saying when he was like younger, he would get in dreams in the fight. He would try to like fight someone in a dream, and it would last all night, like would take forever. But then once he learned this certain martial art and got like good at it, he would have
Mm-hmm.
same thing would happen, but he would knock the guy out one punch, and then that would be the end of the dream. Like it was like a subconscious thing where like he had to be subconsciously confident that he was actually capable of that. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of what's going on right now with like people have to be you have to like know that you're a monarch. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's so the Monarch is actually like Project Monarch, and it's about the chamber inside of our head, the third ventricle. When you look at it, it's that people who experience trauma, it opens up more than it's
I
that people
agree.
who don't have trauma. It's a look at twins. There's studies that do on schizophrenic twins, right? And inside these studies, the twin that was schiz, the Monarch, was open more. You know, inside my videos, I say like you have to be a good person in order to succeed,
Hmm.
right? The whole goal is for you to open that chamber. But when you open that chamber, you go through a form of psychosis. The psychosis is the psychosystem. The mind starts to lock down. Now, you get isolated into your own reality into some way. And at times, your reality starts bleeding through inside the other reality. The world that you live in, the dream that we live in consciously right now. So from your inner dreaming, it starts coming to your outer dreaming. And inside that, if you would use the powers wrong, the system locks you down.
Hmm.
You have
Like
to defeat your own guardian.
yes, that
So
definitely.
once you do that, then you go outside. Then you have to meet the creator.
Okay.
Because you can still turn on the thing, but you have to become a living death.
Do you think that's like a
Everlasting life is what Lyndon and them have. The cultivating, the chi, the
yeah?
pulling in the energy. The Emerald Tablets of Thought that talks about how we do have actual ether channels in our body. So that's actually a thing. Opening your meridians,
Hmm.
getting all the chi flowing, pulling it in. That's really a thing that they're supposed to do here.
I think so
And
too.
this is the blessing of the son of God, right? Or the sun in the sky, the ether generator, which is also the sun, that you may be able to have everlasting life, you not know death ever until death comes for you. Essentially, you can become biologically immortal by building up your chi to the proper level, and you can start using your chi to reshape your body to do everything. But when a person starts going too far, they exist for so long. I don't know if you've seen that Dota's Dragon's Blood on Netflix.
Uh,
It's like
no,
a,
I haven't.
it's an anime. Inside there, they talk about the dragons get dragon sickness. It's where they're going. They've existed for so long, they kind of tap out, and all of a sudden they start like data dumping and going through all their like memories and shit like that. And they're looking around, going through all the different things.
Dude,
So
oh my
that
god.
causes them to go wild
Uh,
while they're having their powers.
I'm actually,
So
I actually just got off a typing an email with the Smithsonian about a article, a newspaper article from 1894, where someone found a cave with a 150-foot long winged dragon in Utah. And I've been talking to the Smithsonian about it to see if it was legitimate. And I
mhm.
literally just got done typing that too. And
The dragons existed.
yeah, I 100% agree. I think they were the actual dinosaurs, but yeah, it's a different topic. Uh, uh, but yeah,
Maybe.
there's a lot of ways we can go take this conversation from what you just said, but I'll try to stick to Cradle just to keep on track, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, like, what do you think of the series? I think it was a out of
It's a
10.
wonderful series.
I agree. I think it's up there.
It's like it's definitely. from sitting there being the whole thing goes back full circle.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite part about it is how it comes full circle.
Yeah. Do you think?
Even Lee, that dude Lee Marcus.
Yeah. That was a good part. Yeah. Do you think that humans are capable of the feats of power in Cradle?
Yeah, that's why the knowledge. So this used to be a thing.
Dude, I
All the legends and
I
lore,
100%
it
agree.
was a thing.
I
It was a thing.
100% agree.
What ended up happening is that the sages, the people who taught the powers, like people like me, people who taught the powers and do shit like that, right? They stopped teaching it to their students and giving them the full system because they realized they weren't good people. Like you get to a cradle where everything starts to, people are constantly fighting all the time and the strong are the ones who are in control. It doesn't necessarily mean that the people that are good or those strong ones are in control.
Yes.
And so things get messed up over time. And so the knowledge, the sages show up and the knowledge gets broken.
Yeah, like
because it's not about that.
yeah, like
The whole point of this experience is to understand why they exist.
I agree. Like if you think about it, like we spend our like prime years of development being indoctrinated in like a I don't know, playing children's games, sports or whatever. And like we could be spending all that time training and like learning this type of stuff.
Kids won't train.
Kids want what?
Kids don't train.
Yeah. I mean, like
not these kids anyway.
Yeah.
But I have kids. I teach them things. I don't have like my own kids, but like I have my friends' kids around, and I teach them things. I give them the information. I do have an apprentice. Like I actually do have younger generation stuff going on, not just waking up the people who are here right now. Like I have other things I'm also working on. So I know that the kids don't train, and it takes for the right type of person to actually seek out that power. Yeah. Whenever it is the standard and everybody's doing it all over the place, it's, I don't know, it's when it starts to get where the kids are violent and cultivation stuff happens and they cripple each other.
Yeah, I think it's just not like, I was saying, like, what if it was taught? I think this type of stuff could be possible. Like, to get like,
it's like possible.
Yeah. Instead of teaching what we currently teach. What are your thoughts on like there being a physical veil over this realm? Do you think that exists?
A physical veil?
Yeah, like I've heard a few people say that at some point after they connected with creation, that their veil was dropped, and they were like, "You'll know when the veil drops. You'll see etheric connections to like creatures and stuff. Like it sounds like the copper
the lines and shit.
Sounds like the copper sight of
that's copper. Cradle. Yeah, copper vision. Yeah,
it sounds exactly like that. Do you think that's a thing or?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah,
the pineal gland inside of our head has like cones and rods that are connected to it.
Yeah,
it's linked into the visual cortex. So it literally like there's multiple ways of seeing that. The copper sight is just normal sight. There's a whole other function of sight. Copper sight is what we had when we were little kids. Actually, we saw it back then.
Yeah, I never agreed with little kids getting poor vision. That always seemed weird. Like, why would a kid have poor vision? It doesn't, like, they don't have a disease or anything. Why, like, I was in first grade, I could see the board. In second grade, I couldn't see the board anymore in class. And it was after, like, the jabby jab or whatever. I probably took it. It might have been something like that. But I remember having, like, really itchy eyes all the time. I had to, like, put a towel on my face because the eyes itched so much. And it was like eating at my vision, I guess. And it's kind of like a protection mechanism, too. Because I was too young to see the stuff that's going on, I guess. I wasn't mature enough to look at stuff. So it was like
whenever you're little, when you're little, the parts that you don't remember, you used to see that way. Before you became self-conscious, you were aware. And you used to see all the things. Look at little kids, they run around and they see stuff, or they look around corners and rooms. They always get scared at night, but there's a monster in my room.
Yeah.
They can see the things. It's a dread beast.
Yeah.
The monsters in their rooms are dread beast.
Okay. Well, speaking of dread beast, I gotta kind of have a theory about it. Um, they're kind of like the Titans in you hear in, like the gods, the mythology of the Greek gods and stuff. But the aspect of hunger,
Mm-hmm.
you hear about breatharians that supposedly don't eat, and you hear about saints that lived that were immortal but never eat, like Saint Germain, and
Mm-hmm.
because their moral fiber was just they didn't need to eat food. They didn't need to consume something else. And
That's what I've been teaching on my page.
yeah, I think the hunger badger thing is like a way that creation corrects for it. So the dread beast, like it works. Real life actually kind of works like the dread beast. Like we have hunger, there has to be like a counter to eating. I don't know. I feel
No,
like
no.
eating is not a good thing. We shouldn't be
Whenever
like
you, all right. So
not to sound
you
like
got
a
to go
dirty.
back. You got to go back into the thing. I don't need to eat myself personally. I've already popped my gland open. Once the pineal gland inside the head was open, we're little kids. Like when little kids cried to get that milky white stuff from the outside their eyes. That's the DMT. We were in DMT land. And like I have a dude right now who's 39 days inside a fast, and he's stopped feeling hungry. And he has a bitter taste in the back of his mouth, and his stomach has been feeling full. And like now the stuff's starting to go into his lungs, and he's starting to drown, which is a part of the process. You have to go back to death. You'll go one way or another. So what ends up happening, that the fluid that we make naturally, like from within us, we don't need to eat. And once you pop the gland open, like you've broken it, like because the pineal gland is closed inside the head, it takes heat. You need to have chi, you need to activate the
Pressure.
chakras.
Pressure.
And when you're doing this, it goes up and it starts to make the heat vibrate more inside there. It causes the gland to actually go and pop open. Because it's shaped like a pine cone for that reason, to pop open from the heat. So what ends up happening once that pops, it starts to produce the milk and honey.
I've heard that.
And it flows down the back. Yeah, it flows down the back of your throat. Therefore, like you're constantly always fed. It's like being a video game character. You feel hunger for so long, but if you sit there with the hunger meter just flashing right at you, and your body's being sustained by the thing, eventually the hunger goes away, and you just get back up, and you're like, I don't need to eat. It's the idea and thought that you need to eat that causes the issues.
Yeah, man. Like,
Instead of people breathing in and pulling in chi and cultivating and building their body off of that, because they're technically eating, they're just not eating food.
yeah, it's like gills almost, but with ether, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really food. I guess it's not food like that. But, yeah, my
It is
video,
like that.
my video last night, the whole thing was about dreams, but like how there's a gate of death, which you just mentioned, like where you can pass it in like I've heard that you can pass it in the dream world or in reality. It's kind of the same thing in a way. But once you pass the gate of death, then those powers are unlocked. I don't know.
You have to go through the gate of death
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, and
in order for you to get to the outside.
yeah, I agree. Um, what do you have any like examples of people that you think would be on like a cradle level in real life or in history?
Count Saint Germain was definitely on there. He was doing the stuff. I'm pretty sure he was using his authority to teleport around.
Yeah.
There's yogis over inside of India that have like they're cultivators. Cultivators are all around, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like people do have powers, and it's just no one's on the level of Cradle that I've noticed. They haven't put together back the right parts of the teachings. They haven't read enough of the lore and stories to see how it flows back together properly, fully. And even if you have the legends and lore, until you go through a certain change, you won't see it properly. It takes seeking to truly uncover it.
Yeah, I agree. And
It's hidden for a reason. We hid it for a reason.
The on authority. Have you read his other books on the what the hell's it called? Sea and Shadow, or whatever.
No, I haven't.
And well, that one it's like another world in the Cradle series, in the Way or whatever. It's called the world name is Asylum, and the guy like there's no like powers, there's no like sacred arts or anything, but the guy there's people that can read objects, and they have like they can read the authority of an object, and they can implant authority on objects, and the concept of authority is like I don't know, it's kind of fascinating. Like the way I see it is like it's like an oath in Cradle. Like if like a random I don't know street rat says that they swear to God or they swear on their mother's grave that something happened, they like most likely nothing's gonna happen to their mother. But if like Marcus Aurelius, who like spent every day trying to improve himself, always improving his spirit, always trying to advance, if he said that and he was actually lying, his his mother would probably drop dead on the spot. It's like a authority thing, right? That's what I think of as
That's
authority. Or no, my off with that.
no, no. Don't. The
Like it's like
authority
your
is
spiritual power.
your understanding is your way. It's not your spiritual power. Authority
Okay.
is something different.
Okay.
Authority comes from understanding. You can have all the spiritual power and be a herald, but you don't have the understanding. That's why they can't teleport. Authority is something that comes from like the sage.
Okay.
Now you can sit here and like if you have so much physical power that you can sit there and start forcing stuff, you start tapping into extra dimensional stuff. You can do that kind of too. There's different ways to do it to tap into the authority of accessing the spatial time risks.
Uh-huh.
But authority is like understanding.
Okay.
You can feel a person's authority whenever they speak, that they actually choose the side to really speak. And that's what makes people get very uncomfortable. Like, how do you know?
That's so true. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it's a fascinating subject. It's like intent. Do you think is it related to intent? And what are your thoughts on intent? Like between intent and will and uh, thought? I don't know. That's kind of a weird question,
You
but
can think about things, right? And not put any intent behind it so they don't manifest off.
Mhm.
You don't will it into being. Will is like the forced projection. Intent is like setting what you're going to do, the program.
Okay. Yeah, because relating it back to Cradle with all the where they do the cycling or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned the yogis that kind of do that. I'm into like this Russian martial art, and Russians are like real practical about stuff, kind of like humorous. They call like
Mm-hmm.
breathing techniques. There are no breathing techniques. There's just breathing properly, and they do like this certain breathing where like it floods breath to your brain and systems, kind of like a jet fighter would to like counter like G forces, and
Mm-hmm.
it kind of reminded me of cycling. And if you like, they only do it for like short bursts when it's like an intense, they're in like a military situation or something. But
Mm-hmm.
if what if people were to do that for hours? I feel like that might be like cycling, kind of like like a more powerful type of cycling. I don't know.
Breathing is cycling. Whenever
Yeah.
you sit here and do the proper techniques within yourself, there's actual movements you have to take and things you have to understand and see to get the system moving and running. I'm
Okay.
giving that stuff in my videos.
Yeah, I've watched a bunch. You've had a lot of videos, but I've watched
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like 100 of them. What is the when did you start hearing the click thing, and where is that coming from? The pineal gland?
That started on May 27th, 2020 at 10:31 in the morning. when I got my crown. I felt like a magnetic crown roll on my head, like I said into the videos, and I felt my ears start clicking, top of my skull start popping, and it felt like an engine turned on. Something rose up out of my head. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I looked to the sky. I was like, "You're up there too, but you're also in here." I met the creator, and that's when I started clicking.
Okay.
And like,
I actually have tried.
show me no, show me yes. Can I control these clicks? You're the dude that lives in the void, doesn't have a name, person who started all this, known as Shiva, Aminomi Nakanushi, the unknown god from Act 1723.
I can't hear the clicks, but I think that it's
Did you hear it? It's there.
Yeah. I've seen the videos.
Alright, so as you can see, nothing in my ear. You should be able to see that. Take this in. Show me no. Show me yes. Are you the being that lives within the void that doesn't have a name? You're the one that started all this, correct? Can I control these clicks? For my purposes, I call you Shiva, right? There you go.
The most I've been connected is when I'm in nature. I will I don't know, try to ground myself somewhere, touch a tree, or like be barefoot in like a forest or something, and I'll ask a question to creation, and wait for, and then I'll like watch everything that happens. Like if the wind picks up, if the car horn I hear like down the street, or like a I don't know, a bird flies by, a mosquito flies in front of
Waiting
me.
for spirit to speak to you.
Yeah, like that. The language I create, kind of like
the language of symbolism.
Yeah, the creator speaks through creation.
Mm-hmm.
And I would purposely ask the same question over and over and over until I knew without a shadow of doubt of the answer. And I would try to make it like because it's kind of hard to ask the question. It's like animals don't know human, like English, right? They don't know English symbols. So you have to like try to shape it in a way that it's like a picture type form. Anyway, so I would ask the question a bunch of times, and after like 5 times, something crazy would happen every time. Like I kept asking the same question, and the wind started picking up more. Wind picked up more. Then I ask again. Wind gets even more crazy. The birds all start chirping. I ask again, and a bird flew right by my head within an inch, brushed past me, knocked off my hat, and then kept going. And it was like, "Do you get it yet?" Like we're all communicating.
He's getting pissed off, technically.
Yeah, like, do you get it yet? And I've had that happen a couple times on separate occasions. I've had I'll ask a tree.
That happens. It happens.
Yeah, 100-foot tall tree a question, and I'll get like a feeling from like the wind or something, and then I'll ask it again because I wasn't 100% sure, and a branch from the tree will fall within 1 foot of my body, of my head, from 100 feet up. It's like, the tree's like, do you get it yet? So it seems like I don't know, the click thing. It seems like it's like it's even more tapped in than going into nature and doing it and asking the questions. I don't know. So how did you get to that level? I guess.
I just told the video. It's the 40-day fast. I've already made my character.
Okay, I'll check it out.
That's what I say. When you watch my stuff, you have to go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
and then I say stuff.
Yeah.
How do you explain the process of getting people back into the kingdom? The dude that's on day 39 now inside his fast, and he's like having all his systems turned on. He watched a lot of videos. A lot of people have. It's just a part of it. People go back and rewatch the videos and they see things that they didn't understand before because their mind wasn't able to. When I came on to TikTok, I was just giving out a download, giving everything away. I had to prove the whole comforter thing. And, Jesus said that he will send a comforter inside of his name. His name is his way. And what was his way? His way was the seven seals or the seven churches. That's your seven chakras. In order to sit here, you daydream and you walk around inside yourself like you used to when you were little. You have to go back to your first love. You have to be childlike. When you walk around inside your daydream, you walk through a place of the earth. And like, if you see a forest or inside a cave, whatever it is for you, earth is earth. You go around and eventually like shit will start happening. You just have to walk around inside a daydream. And even it says inside the Gospel of Thomas, he who makes the eye like an eye, a foot like a foot, a hand like a hand, above and below. You start to pull your senses in up there as you're walking around. What do you smell? Because you walk around here all the time, you don't smell shit half the time. But if you sit here and tune in, you can tune in and see what you smell. So do the same thing upstairs. What do you smell? What's going on? We're taught that whenever we daydream, we have a bubble that pops up above our head, a cloud, right? And the Lord is supposed to meet us in the air or in the cloud. So you have to go back into the dreaming. We start off inside a dream, delta brainwaves. Now everybody starts off here. Everyone's coming from the blackness. And so the original teaching is dream time of the Aboriginals. That's the original teaching. So you go into your daydream, and as you go through your daydream, you show your character into the Earth Temple. Next thing you know, you run into somebody, you're having to do missions, you're doing, your daydream thing. Then boom, you complete that area, have a boss fight, get a new piece of clothing or article, and then you go to the Water Temple. Repeat the same process. You work your way all the way up, you go water, fire, air, then the ether itself, then the vibration temple, and then there's your king. Or your queen self, your past self of you, or the dark part of you that is like Sukuna, essentially, and from like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, have you been reading that lately from that?
No, I've been keeping up with it.
Okay.
I do too much. I don't have time to read cartoons.
Yeah,
and for manga.
Yeah, that's like the only that One Piece and Hunter x Hunter are the only ones I actually like follow up on. But yeah, that's got a lot of stuff in it too. But from what you said, yeah, like smell. When you sense deception, it smells fishy. It's like an etheric smell almost. Like you. Yeah.
You're just upstairs.
Yeah, you smell.
You're walking around inside your daydream, and you separate yourself. You're collecting your clothing and your garments, and then you put yourself into the fast mode, and you go back to death. You actually sit here and make yourself go back to die, and that causes your body to heat up from inside of yourself by fasting. You fast to burn your fats, and then it starts dumping all the extra stuff into your system. You start purifying and purging, and then after you get through that, the body starts speeding up again, and now your character is birthing itself. You put yourself here at the gateway, and this is where people can go skits. Is because if you're not actually a good person like you say you are, when you go back through it, the power goes to your head instead of being chill with everybody else. Then your shit gets yanked from you, and now you're like, I'm this, I'm that, and you're getting locked up inside of a cell because you're not actually that. You didn't understand the purpose.
What do you think about? Have you ever heard of Jerry Marzinski? Ever heard of him?
Nope.
He was a psychiatrist for paranoid schizophrenics at maximum security prison for 35 years, and he tried to follow like the medical doctrine or whatever for like 10 years, and then finally he just said, "Screw it! I'm just going to go along with what these people are saying, that they're seeing stuff and that they're hearing voices." So he's like, "Okay, I'll just believe them." And he starts to realize that they're all demons, but like not demon like the Bible or like heaven and hell. It's a daemon, which is a DAEMON. Like I don't know, in computer programming, a daemon is the background. background process. That's all it is.
Hmm.
It's not like something bad, kind of, but it's like a background thing that like works in the background. So he concludes that those schizophrenics were being like manipulated by these background processes, these demons, whatever, because we're more of like the silent observer, not our thoughts. I don't know.
The awareness, you are the pure awareness that's there. And then you have your id and your super consciousness, which would both be considered a background process compared to everybody else. The higher self, if you're being manipulated by your higher self, wouldn't that still be a daemon?
Yeah, it's like an angel demon on the shoulders. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but like
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like they're not us though, right? Like we're the one observing that, right? Or no? What do you think?
I merged with mine, my id and my super consciousness and like ego, all three become one. So, I mean, what is the creator? The creator made all the things. His three children are the devas, the asuras, and the mankind. So, angels, demons, daemons, it's all the same.
Yeah,
I say, are they us? I mean, if it doesn't feel like you, it's not you. You know who you are. But whenever you merge yourself all together, there's like the dark aspect of you too that you feed with the negative things that you watch. And so there's a different person there for that one. There's many different ways that people build themselves. Many different things going on. And eventually sometimes people lose out to their other side and they get taken over. But some of those people are lost and trapped and going between different worlds. The archons, they say inside of uh, before you get outside of the Maya, all the hands come for you. The archons that are there, the people who rule the illusion, and like they come to grab you, and they're going to try to pull you back into the thing to keep you inside the slavery. And the whole thing is you have to take them too.
interesting.
So in the end, they're still a part of the creator and the creation. It's all about going back to the creator.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Uh, what was I gonna say? Okay. Um, shoot. All right, I'll just go to the next question. With Cradle, I found that the way that it explains Underlord advancement, like
Mm-hmm.
how you know yourself, I found that fascinating
Yeah.
because I've never heard like it. I never heard the concept of know yourself explained like that. And when I actually did it, and when I did it, when I started like listing things that I am or whatever, when I got to what I am, I got the prickly goosebumps. It was like my body was telling me that's what you are. I don't know. It was like
The world starts trembling.
yeah, prickly goosebumps, which is like Ren. That's how Ren is explained in Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What do you
That's
what?
the cheese starting to act up.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think of that or no? Is that have you tried
It
anything like
happens.
that? Yeah.
Whenever I did the 40-day fast, it's all there.
You've done a 40
It
day fast?
happens. Yeah, I did the 40-day fast to die.
What do you like? Did you drink water or no? Or
Yep.
just water?
I had water, quinine with Topo Chico and zinc
What's
and
Topo
colloidal
Chico?
gold. It's a bubbly water, mineral water. I was cutting the quinine because the taste was too strong because my taste buds are so turned up whenever you go
What's
for so
what's
long without eating.
what's quinine?
Quinine is a derivative of wormwood. You put wormwood into the sky, it helps to decalcify the pineal gland. It was the cure for coronavirus back in 2020. They said take quinine with zinc and you won't get it.
Interesting.
Tonic water. It causes the pineal gland to decalcify.
Interesting. I've done I don't know.
It's all there in my videos, man.
Yeah, I've watched like 100 of them. you have a lot. Sorry,
I
didn't
know.
see that. um, yeah,
It's a lot of stuff is explained.
I've done stuff with turpentine, which has a bunch of healing
Yeah, it
properties.
does it too.
Yeah,
It removes parasites.
yep. I took
It's
a
like
bath in
it's from
turpentine.
pine needles.
Actually, took a bath in turpentine, and it like gave me uh, double like it felt like two ear infections. And it was like it was just destroying parasites in my brain almost. And after like 15 minutes, it went away, but I felt prickly goosebumps for the next like hour and a half. In
What, if
fact,
you took the turpentine?
yeah, I did like a bath in turpentine, but it like I don't know because it was just
I'm about to start taking it. I have like some sugar cubes right here. I'm about to start putting it on sugar cubes and actually do a
Dr.
whole
Jennifer Daniels.
detox. Yep,
She's good.
do a detox.
Yeah, it was definitely detox me. Like it was pretty wild. Let's see next.
Detox is important. Those parasites get inside of you and they start giving you stuff as well. You know, like when you see the hell realms inside a lot of games, they show like a bunch of wormy shit everywhere.
Yeah, like
That's the parasites.
The Zerg. Like you ever play StarCraft? It's kind of like that. The Zerg or the parasite.
I don't remember
They're like I don't know, starship troopers.
that.
They're like insect like kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of things. It's the wormy things. It's inside of
yeah,
you.
worm. Yeah,
They're other consciousness fields. And it's people like they sit here and they're like, oh, they try to stop eating and they start getting violently sick. That's because the parasites within them are making them get that way.
mm-hmm.
They need to clean themselves out.
Yep.
They're being controlled by other things, but they don't know it. That's the point of a parasite in order for it to live and exist. It's to control you, not let you know that it's control, not let it know, not let you know that you're being controlled.
Yeah.
So that you can feed it and do what it needs you to do.
All right, my next
So,
question is kind of about Little Blue, the Cradle series.
fuck
Have
yeah.
you have you ever seen any like uh, otherworldly creatures? Because I've seen I spent a night in the forest, totally naked, with no tools, no tent, no phone, no night, nothing, and just to like
Mm-hmm.
survive the night. I don't know, and it was crazy. But like at around like 2 a.m., I started seeing these blue flashing light, like a firefly kind of, but it was blue. Fireflies are normally green, right? Like they flash green or yellow or whatever. I started seeing this blue
Mm-hmm.
flashing firefly type light. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I hear like I just got the sense that's a fairy or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. And I try to like fall asleep that night, and I'm like underneath this like I don't know tree canopy, I guess, or tree like I don't know opening or whatever that got me out of the rain, and I'm like just staring outside of it, and I start to see this little blue ethereal creature. It was like 90% like 90% opaque and like 10% transparent, like a blue ethereal creature, and it pops
Yeah,
up.
a spirit.
It was like 2 inches tall, and it was in medieval clothes, and it was playing the fiddle. And when I saw it, it got like excited, like, oh shit, he can actually see me. And he started doing like flips and stuff, and like went to go tell his friends or whatever. I don't know. It sounds crazy, but that 100% happened. I was completely sober, and it was in the middle of the night in the
Yeah,
forest.
no. The spirits are out there. They live into the woods. That stuff really goes on. Just because we stay inside these cities, you're never out there whenever they're doing things.
Yeah,
You start living in the woods, the things are there. You start paying attention, you'll meet the other things. But then again, do they want to meet you? Because humans are pretty fucking, gnarly.
I think the
And,
cell phone
not
cell
everyone
phones
wants to
have
meet.
something too, like their frequency, I guess. I don't know. That kind of like
Uh,
bothers them, right?
I don't
Like,
know. I can't say that it does or doesn't. I'm not
some,
gonna. There's
yeah,
things that can be done.
yeah, I agree. Because I've heard like some national forests or national reserves or whatever, they don't
Mm-hmm.
allow you to bring digital electronics onto the park. And like, why? Why would they do that? You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's like a spiritual, the,
Or it might highlight you for other things and pick up on you too.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
of national parks, people go missing in them all the time.
yeah,
Missing 411.
yeah. That guy's great.
So there's all types of fucked up stuff going on here on this planet right now, which is why the Reapers have been deployed.
Who do you think the Reapers are?
I'm part of the crew. The whole saints and sages that come from heaven, all that stuff.
Oh, okay, the angel of death type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's why they don't, why they always have to tell us what they're doing. But it's like a word. They do it in
They're
like a
not
word
them.
magic spell. Because if they actually just
They're
do it,
not them. They're gonna die too.
yeah. But if they actually just lie to us or just take things from us, then it's like a karmic thing, and that's when the angel of death and Shiva, they'll come down and just slaughter them all. So they have to do it
No, no.
where we have to consent to it, kind of. I don't know. Even though it's not
Yeah,
right, I still don't agree with it.
but it gets to a certain point where like you don't understand that it's about children, and so now like Shiva descends anyway and gonna kill everyone. Like you
Mhm.
just kill people. That's what happens.
I think that's
Mankind isn't protecting children. They're not doing what they need to do. And since they're not doing what they need to do, the Anunnaki are deployed. How do we get deployed here? We wake up inside the dreaming, and then we start remembering, like, okay, I'm in this body. Well, how did I get here? I remember being on my other planet. I fucking turned myself into black fire, went and flew into the black sun. The black sun's a black hole, what people call that, but it's also a sun. It had the ring on the outside. It's like when the corona around the sun stops and just becomes like the ring. It looks like that. That's what the sun
halo.
looks like whenever it's exposed. Yeah, you there?
Yeah, like a halo kind of.
Yeah, like a halo, like the halo of samsara.
Yeah,
And then in
Sauron.
the middle, samsara, like inside Cradle. How he talks
Sar-
about samsara's mountain, the
yeah,
halo. Whenever
Sauron.
Lyndon does the void stage thing.
Yeah, Satan, Sauron, Saturn, the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
It all fits.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went through that. And when I went through that, I ended up coming out here because I was looking for my partner. I was going to go look for her locality. So you go into the sun, and then it's like a warp hole where you have to like make decisions of like where you're doing, and then you flip and you pop out over here. Went in and reported to Saturn. There's lords who are there on Saturn and the rings, and then they issued me this body, and I got into this body at 6 months before it was born. Like the 6 month developmental point, and after that I synchronized in and was born here. My body was actually inhabited by my little brother beforehand. I can tell because me and him had the same birthmarks. And I didn't die, so I shouldn't have a birthmark. I just kind of transferred here. But since he wasn't born at the time, it's technically my body.
I actually have
So
a weird
it was a whole
birthmark as
soul
well.
contract. And then, yeah, you end
Weird
up
thought
growing
of
up
birthmark.
here.
Sorry.
You end up growing up here, and then you have to remember who you were. You had the dreams, like you have like a dream download. You come here and you wake up and all the stuff is there, all the information is there, but you don't know how to make sense of it because you stripped yourself down to your most basic form of awareness. That's like the very simple thing of being the first source and going back to the creator, and then unfolding here, and your memories come back to you so you can wake up again.
I think
And you
that's
have to
why.
go through and play the tests, and you walk around and you look at the world of man, but you're still remembering who you are. And then once you finally remember who you are and everything, it goes off within you.
I think that's where I'm at right now, trying to remember.
Mm-hmm. That's where
What do
most
you
people are.
what do you remember? Of who you were?
What do you mean?
Like who were you? By
Merrick Denatra.
what's that?
Merrick Denatra. Whenever I merged with myself this time, I'm Merrick Alex Denatra. Mad. M-A-D.
Merrick? Is that a historical
Merrick
person?
means the ruler of fame and fortune, ruler of power. Alex is a protector of mankind. Denatra is de, which means of. Natra comes from Sanskrit, which means a dancer or a sage. So I am the ruler of the house of sages.
How do you know that you are that? That's not.
That's my name,
Is
bro.
that your
That's like
actual?
my past lives.
That's your
That's why
actual
you
name.
have your temple.
That's your actual
That's
name.
why you have your. That's why you have your temple inside yourself that you meditate and go through.
Okay. So
Like that's literally why you sit down and go inside yourself so that you can reclaim your information. You're not going to find it in the world outside you. Only place you're going to find the things about you are within you.
Yeah, like I my names are Easter, Pasquale, Vincent Levesque. So Easter or resurrection or spring equinox. Vincent means conquer, and Levesque is like live chi, live chi, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with chi ever since I was born. I don't know. So it's like the
If
resurrection.
you're talking about my birth name here, like on this planet, my name means my name here, like my birth is it means to kill violently and wantonly, to protect mankind, and of the raven. I was born inside of the famous warrior village of the land of tomorrow, Louisville, Kentucky. My mom went to labor with me on Easter Sunday of 1989, which is March 26th. And 33 hours later, at 1:06 in the morning on March 28th, I was born as an Aries, Sagittarius.
Yeah, I just have my.
I am Shiva.
Yeah, I can see it. I just have my chart read or whatever. But yeah, I was born on a Wednesday, Woden, Odin Wednesday, and
Woden.
yeah, and then I was born. It's kind of weird. Like I was born on February 1st, and my family does a thing where the dad and the son, they, I mean, not the dad and the son, the firstborn son gets named after the grandfather. So two names repeat, and the other name is Phil. February 1st is the embolic, like the time between the spring equinox and the winter solstice. And it's between February 1st and February 7th, but we call it Groundhog Day, where a groundhog named Punxsutawney Phil, which is I don't know, my dad's name. So I can see how shit's all connecting. I don't know. But I don't know my real. That's what I'm asking. Like, what? How did you?
Your name before?
Yeah. How did you figure?
You have to go inside yourself.
Okay.
Like you literally have to go into your temple, and then like you get different. I got a new name. Like my Lord name is Honoshizu. There's a person I was before, and then there's like the whole thing I did then, and then stripping down to like my character. Merritt came here. I was looking for my partner. I found the remnants of her. Because whenever you hit a person with a nuke, they did the nuke thing. All Mother was supposed to wake up here during that time frame. And she would have been an adult inside the 60s when they had the whole love thing going on. Mm-hmm. And she would have woke up and given them the teaching. They hit her with a nuke. And what that ended up causing, whenever us souls want to die, eternity is a long time. So a sun has the ability to blow itself out and send out new elements to make new people. And by them using nukes, they force that to happen and break down their own chains of memory. They break down those people's chains of memory. And so they have to like restart over again as new people. They essentially kill a person from heaven. But it's already too late for them because people are already awake now. Even if they use nukes, it won't stop the people that resurrect. That's why we get triangulated. That's why the sun is the mirror. Then you have your Ka inside yourself, which is your singularity. And then there's a point of entanglement out there that's called the Ba, or the double. And when you activate all three, when I felt my Ka go outside my body, it got entangled by the sun. And it also was in superposition and entanglement with my other star, with my actual star that's out inside the cosmos somewhere. So it's all triangulated.
Okay.
And then if you get blown up here, you die here, you get brought back here because this is your last known location. All your data is stored inside your second star. And yeah, it's a whole system. It's already too late. They can't stop what's coming.
Yeah, I have a theory that since we're entering the age of Aquarius, I think each age has a different cataclysm.
Theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the age of Aquarius is the age of awakening. Like knowledge. It's the knowledge bearer, right? Or the water bearer.
Mm-hmm.
So the cataclysm for our age is everyone starts to wake up. I don't know.
No.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Actually, you think? What do you?
They're going to wake up. They just want powers. Most people are wanting powers. They don't want to actually meet the creator. They want to be God.
Think?
They don't want to actually meet the creator. And so with that being the point and purpose of it behind the thing, they will not have their own way. They will just cause chaos. And so they'll get wiped out too.
What would wiped out by what? What do you mean? Do you think there's going to be a cataclysm or something?
I'll wipe them out myself. I keep on telling you what I am. Like
Shiva? Yeah. Okay.
they start getting powers. I'm a janitor. I clean shit up. They start messing things up. They start dying.
Like Ethan.
You start having people dying in the street. Yeah, you start having people dying in the street. You see me out there out of nowhere and I'll punch you in the face and your head will explode because you wanted to use your powers to steal stuff. This isn't going to be like that movie Free Guy.
Yo, I used to work for I don't know. I worked in for a government agency, the Defense Technical Information Center, as a computer programmer.
I was a Marine.
Yeah. As a computer programmer, and it was like down on the name of the road was literally called Backlick Road, and it was like a dirt road that went into this government building or whatever, and it was like real like you needed like a security clearance, all that kind of stuff. But what I noticed, what was really interesting about it, is every single janitor had Down syndrome, because when you think about it, janitors have keys to everything. So Ethan, being the janitor, Jupiter, he's like the Jupiter, the one who resets, who like cleans everything. He's the cleaner. So that's why they had to have the janitors like that, because they have the keys to everything.
Yeah. I mean, Ben 10, the plumbers.
Yeah.
The concept's out there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The Marines are glorified janitors, is what we say. Chaos Space Marines. The Star Seeds are the Space Force. Once you turn on your shit, you resurrect and come back. The Hound of the Barrier from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth are Devil Dogs.
Yep.
The Rothschilds actually means Red Shield.
Red Shield?
So whenever that's what Rothschild means, is Red Shield. And so you have people that keep on touching children and doing like stuff like that. What do you summon? The warning sign, because the kids are collective consciousness and they're all dreaming together. You start messing with the seed in that way and corrupting the seed, then naturally, like, we're going to deploy people here to clean the area up and bring everything back to stabilization. Yep. Satan, that name, Satan, if you look up the oldest form of it, it's actually Satam, Satam, and it comes from Akkadian. It means the administrator.
I can see that.
There's many worlds out there, many other places, and everywhere has their Satan or their administrator that's over the world. God doesn't want to rule all the worlds.
Tower of God?
He wants to go out and play the thing. Yeah, I guess. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, Tower of God? Korean manga. But they talk about administrators on each level, like content. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a part of it. It's like the Gigi inside the story of Anana. She falls from heaven and she takes off her 7 heavenly garments. She gives them to the Gigi. That's what happened to us when we came here. You took off your 7 heavenly garments. The things you were as your character, as you were falling through your dreaming, you fell into the world of man.
7 judges.
Mm-hmm. You have to go back through inside yourself and go back against those people and go back past the 7 judges.
Okay.
Those are the avatars within you, and then you get to go outside and you have to go face the creator. Just like any good Japanese RPG, you have to go back and fight the fucking creator dude at the front, which always conveniently looks like some type of demon.
Yeah.
Damon.
Yeah.
Creator doesn't hide what he is. It's just people don't want to. They just don't want to accept it.
What do you think about the Illuminati? I know people have other theories.
They're the fallen houses,
but I think they're just kind of like administrators, kind of managers. I think there's got to be a group that is like the Phantom Troop that are actually
they're fallen
strong.
houses.
They're actually strong. I feel like
They're not.
Like there has to be a group that's like that. I feel like.
They can go out and have the cheese and stuff like that. They don't resurrect. No matter how strong you are, you can't. You can keep on fighting me. And I keep on coming back. You're going to run out of energy.
So you don't think there's like?
No, there is no God on this planet right now.
I mean, like 100.
They're the children of the sages. The Illuminati right now. They're
Yeah.
the children of the sages. The houses fell. The knowledge was broken apart.
Yeah, I think
They don't really have power.
I agree. They have influence.
And there isn't.
Not power.
I mean, if there was a hunters association here right now, do you think all the fucked up stuff would be going on in the world?
I don't know, man. If you think about
No.
it, Netero kind of lets shit happen. He doesn't mind that they're gonna kill each other. Like he doesn't care. Like not that he doesn't care. It's like he doesn't try to prevent anything. Like he's like, okay, you can go down that path, but it'll hurt you. But go ahead, go down that path. It's only gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there has to be an organization like that on Earth. And I've looked into the World Organization, the World Organization of Non-Governmental Organizations, the World Association of Non-Governmental Organizations, WANGO. And I've looked through it, looking for something because the Hunter Association is an NGO, so I was looking for something like that. And I don't know. I feel like there has to be someone at the wheel, but they're doing it really subtly. And I've heard rumors that Lucifer is actually a real being. I'm kind of getting into the woods now, but that like actually exists.
He's a person, yeah.
But like, he just uses those like Illuminati families that people talk about as like as managers basically. Because who wants to actually govern people? Like, you want to do your own thing, right?
Yeah, I say that all the time inside my videos.
Yeah. So I feel like that's how the Phantom Troop acts, though. They kind of just want to do their own thing. They let everyone else think that they're ruling, but not really. I feel like there has to be a group like that. I don't know. What do you think so or no? You don't think
No,
so? You don't think there's a group of humans that are actually strong that are running?
no,
No.
not here right now. If they were, they wouldn't sit back and let kids be trafficked, and you wouldn't hear none of it. They'd already come out because all the signs and stuff are being revealed. So, yeah, they're not actively here. Actually, technically, we're supposed to become those people. That's what's happening right now, is that we're waking up. Those who are actually supposed to be those people. I mean, I've been working on forming an organization myself.
Yeah, I actually
Got to go take their money. I'm going to take their money and add it to my guild.
I actually wanted to do that as well. An NGO. I've looked into it extensively, how to start an NGO and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the supposed rulers, like they don't actually have power. Like the Rothschilds, they have like 200 NGOs because they can operate in any nation with no laws applying to them, kind of. And
It's something to look into. I'll keep it in mind.
I don't know. It's kind of getting more into Hunter x Hunter, I guess. But have you looked at the Antarctic Treaty, the actual treaty in real life?
No.
It's very.
That's where Atlantis is.
It's very interesting because they use terms that are like you have to have permission to go there, like the Dark Continent, and certain things you have to do, and they use terms that are like you don't really normally hear. I don't know. It's a fascinating.
They use a maritime law.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That rules everything.
That's where Atlantis is.
That's why
Ancient Kim is the grand line.
Yeah.
To get out to the outside, you have to go past the ice wall.
Reverse mountain. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, One Piece.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's definitely tapped into that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Do you think they're being influenced, or they just tapped into truth, like Togashi and Oda?
It's easier for you to sit back here and to start dreaming about a thing, and then the information comes to you, and they receive their information through dream channels.
So you think they're just tapped in, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because like Togashi, if you
They
watch,
build, they world build, and since they're world building and they're telling lore, they're telling a story.
mm-hmm.
It starts to cause like the lore starts coming back in, the symbolism. They start doing a little research into this. What does this symbol mean? What does this symbol mean? As they do that research, the lore starts pulling itself back out again. They start rebuilding it and telling the story all over again. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's set to cycle and repeat itself over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So people can get the point of them going on the hero's journey themselves.
Well, the reason why I say that is because I've had this theory that there's an aspect of the CIA working through Japan because the name of the
There might
inventor,
be.
the name of the inventor of Bitcoin, which came out of Japan, right, is Satoshi Nakamoto. And if you
Mm-hmm.
break down what that means, it means like intelligence central,
Yeah.
central intelligence agency, or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the Hunter X Hunter like, symbol for the Hunter organization, it's the same exact symbol as the Freemasons. It's a compass, but it's like flipped. It's a compass.
Yeah, he probably did that on purpose.
Yeah. Do you think they're influencing him, or he's just tapped in?
No,
He's just tapped
he
in.
probably did it. He did it himself on purpose. He did use reverse symbolism
Yeah.
to show, like through the mirror, they're the opposite of what they're supposed to be here.
Yeah, I think he's just tapped in as well.
Yeah, that's the dreaming.
Yeah.
It passes like Plato's tapped in. Will's just a dude. He's dreaming and he's pulling the information down from the cloud. It's a download.
Yeah.
You literally have to sit there in the Akashic records and watch another person's show, and then you're just writing it out.
Isn't it interesting? They call the database centers that hold all internet information the cloud. It's like the same as
I
real
mean,
life.
yeah, that's where our brains go into the cloud.
Yeah, exactly. And the rain comes down and it spreads that information through water. Water,
Mm-hmm.
the memory, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm trying to go to the next question. Sorry.
It's okay.
What do you think about shit? Sorry. I'm looking at quotes that I highlighted in the actual series throughout the series.
The dragon advances.
Yeah, I love that part. That was my favorite part. When the guy dies and he's like, he had a message for you.
The dragon advances.
Exactly.
It's a good book series.
You know what I'm actually doing right now? Like I never live streamed in my life. I started live streaming to go find dragon bones. Like I said, the dragon bones in Utah. That's actually where I'm headed right now. The dragon advances. I don't know.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Next thing. Soul smithing, or like
Making weapons
yeah, or
and
applying,
imbuing them with powers. Yes.
or like putting your intent into something.
Mm-hmm.
I have the three best meals on my, probably like the top three best meal of my life was a cheeseburger. That was just like a ShopRite cheeseburger. It was like nothing, but it was made by my one aunt, and it was like on the 4th of July. I remembered it distinctly, like it was the best cheeseburger I ever had. I was 12 years old. It's 4th of July, and I was the last one in the pool. We have a big family, so I came out of the pool and all the food was gone. So my aunt was like, "Oh, you didn't get any food? Here, let me put some burgers on the grill." She starts making them, and she's like chatting with me or whatever. And she's done with the burgers, and she flipped them like 20 times. Like you're not supposed to flip the burger 20, you're only supposed to do it once or whatever. So cooks say or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
she hands it to me, and I bite it, and I distinctly remember saying, "Wow, this is really good. It's so juicy. How did you make it so juicy?" And she replied, "Oh, I did it with love." She like poured
Mm-hmm.
her love intention into the food, and it just made it, even though it was like a shitty
Yes.
ShopRite burger,
No,
made it
yeah,
amazing.
this is
I feel like that's definitely a thing.
that happens.
Yeah,
That happens with weapons. That happens with food. People are supposed to do that. That should be basic sense.
yeah. I actually heard my dad. I never heard him even ever say the word love, but I asked him for his chili recipe one time, and he's like, "Oh, it's this, 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 and this," and then he goes, and then a sprinkle of love. So it's definitely. I feel like that's definitely a thing. The intention of the person making it
Hmm.
infuses the food or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Um, because I've been looking into trying to make an actual legitimately magic sword or something like the soul smithing.
You need more knowledge. You need to actually have chi to imbue it with anything.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but like, think about all the metals in the
Hmm.
periodic table that no one even talks about. Like, what do they do?
Hmm.
I don't know.
There's a bunch of things that they can do.
I feel like the
Especially when
whole
you mix them together, you can make orichalcum.
yeah, I feel like the whole soul smith thing is actually that could be real. It's
It's a thing. It's real. It's
definitely
not could be. It's real. They have legendary weapons. This is a thing that does happen.
yeah,
We get bored and we start making weapons over time. Or we're doing battles in Valhalla. We start like picking up different things.
yeah,
I mean, every like gods have hobbies because you live forever. You
yeah,
develop hobbies.
definitely. Yeah, I've found a bunch of actual magic weapons that throughout history. I don't know. The U.S. House of Representatives has a mace, and it has all kinds of magical aspects to it. Anyway,
Wouldn't surprise me. The relics are around. There's
uh,
probably storage rings that are still around. Storage treasures and everything. They just don't know how to chi to access the space within. All the stuff's there. I'm gonna go raid the Smithsonian once
yeah.
my stuff starts getting up.
Um, I'm
I'm gonna
like
take their shit.
yeah. Through my research into saints, I tried to make them. I made the most comprehensive list of saints on the internet, and I was looking for. I really just wanted to power rank their miracles, basically, just for like I don't know, fun. And throughout every single article, the miracle is treated like a footnote, and the entire article is about the location of their bones. So, what are your thoughts on like the power of bones? I don't know.
Power what?
Bones. Why
Bones?
is the why is the church so obsessed with the location of the bones and relics of like saints and stuff? That's all they talked about in all the articles on saints.
Oh, because it has chi that was still stored within it. The actual saints don't. They become incorruptible.
Yeah, because
Actual saints become incorruptible. They don't age. They don't like break down. Their body doesn't break down. It's like it's inside of a sleep stasis mode.
yeah, that's why it's like a the bones of a wizard kind of. I don't know.
There is no bones. It's a whole body if they're actually a saint.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just a cultivator. People had god-like powers. Doesn't mean they were actually connected to God.
Okay.
Anyone can cultivate. That's what I'm saying. Anyone can cultivate once they figure out how to do it. But that's not for everyone. I'm not teaching everyone that. I've already given away enough on my TikTok. My
Yeah.
TikTok has all the information there.
I'll have to dive deeper into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what else I got. I wanted to ask. What are you into now, by the way?
I've been on Twitter doing spaces lately. I got to finish writing my book. I'm doing my training. 2023 is the year of the hare, time to repair. 2024 is the year of the dragon. That's whenever shit's going to start getting wild. This
Yeah,
whole system's about to start collapsing.
that's what I think. What do you think? Do you think there's a cataclysm coming or no?
Yeah,
Like a what kind of cataclysm?
doesn't
What
matter.
do you think?
There can be many different kinds. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know. It's just like an energy.
No, no, it has to happen. They don't believe the creator is real. They think they are God. Stupid.
Yeah. yeah, man. I've been driving through the country, and once I get like outside of the Northeast, I get all these I don't know, Christian evangelist stations, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's not like real or whatever, but I feel like it like puts people in a box where they can't think outside of that certain belief system.
That's their choice.
Yeah,
That's the way they're not reading the actual book and seeing what's right in front of their faces.
yeah,
They're not doing what the book says to do. If they were, they'd be different. Go into your closet, shut the door, and pray in secret. You end up going into the daydream.
hmm
Amos 5:20, the day of the Lord is darkness. They're not actually reading the book.
okay.
So
All right, I'll
they're
go
not
off.
doing the things Jesus said.
Yeah, I'll go off cradle. I actually just have some questions about Odin. Uh, I've actually the myth of Odin is he hangs upside down from a tree and he looks at the water reflection that goes to the sun, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
then he marks down what he saw, and that those are the runes, right? I tried that,
Mm-hmm.
and if you stare at the sun while hanging upside down, I didn't look through a mirror. I probably should have done it. It would like flip and like I don't know, like flip and reverse the image for our like eyesight when we close our eyes
Mm-hmm.
looking at the sun. If you look at the sun and close your eyes, there's like an image behind it. I feel like that's what he was copying down, and I don't know. I wanted to know what your thoughts are
Scripting.
with Odin. If you think it's a literal or like some kind of like it's metaphysical or whatever.
What do you mean with Odin?
How he figured out like the runes and is like losing his eye, that kind of stuff. Do you think he was like a? I think he was actually a human, and then
No,
actually,
he's an actual person.
yeah, I think he was an actual human, like Lyndon or something like that.
Mm-hmm. He was a person who had knowledge. And he goes through the thing. Woden Odin comes from Woden.
Yep.
Woden is to be fucking so pissed off and mad that you start crying and you go on a rampage. You start fucking shit up. That's what Woden means.
Okay.
And
Actually,
then from there, after you come down from your like your fucking tantrum, you have a temper tantrum. You know, you tantra. Once you come back down from that, you start looking around and like you start noticing the symbols and the signs everywhere. Like I could sit here and go through the rooms and everything, and like what the symbol means, the character, why Esau is the creator being one to make two people, so you to snap it. And you get Kanaz, which is the beacon, which is a neutral point, and a positive point, and a negative point, and then you mirror that and put it together, and you get the seed.
yeah,
Yeah, it's all.
I've actually made my own runes. Well, if you get like my own meaning of the number system, if you go
Yeah,
zero is like the whole, it's everything. Then like one is like I don't know, or zero could be like the womb. One is the phallus, or whatever. Then two is the
that's
is the spark of life, kind of.
it. All
Uh,
starts at a point.
yep, I agree. Uh, I don't know. It's getting kind of
And the
late.
point opens up and becomes a thing. Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah,
Check me out on Twitter, bro.
I will. I'll watch more. Thanks, man. I'll send you.
TikTok.
I'll send you the